Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Lars.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we're talking about this past week's AEW Rampage and WWE SmackDown, including a huge return. Charlotte Flair, who apparently wants to go after the old Raw Women's title. We're going to talk about that plus more on our SmackDown rundown. But also, we've got a bunch of news from over the weekend, including... do WWE and Drew McIntyre have a deal yet? Is he coming back to the Federation? But first, where will the WWE go when their TV deals are up? We've got the latest on that. Larson, what's in the news?
Yeah, so it looks like, of course, Fox, NBC Universal, currently airing WWE's product, but it looks like their exclusive negotiating window with WWE has closed. That's not to say they can't continue negotiations. But according to a new report from Andrew Marchand of the New York Post, this report states that while Fox and NBC Universal remain the favorites to retain SmackDown and Raw, respectively, this report also adds that Disney, a company some of you may have heard of, has shown interest in adding WWE programming to their family of networks, with the report naming FX. Now, it's interesting, it wouldn't be ESPN. That is a worldwide leader in sports, after all.
Correct.
However, the report points out that if WWE were to put Raw and or SmackDown to ESPN, guess what? It's going to get preempted a bunch.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Especially
Because-
they try to do Raw on Monday nights. Well, guess what? Monday Night Football
Yeah.
probably takes precedent over Raw.
Bounced. Yep. Yeah, that's $1 billion deal several times over. So the report also states that Amazon Prime, Apple, and Warner Brothers Discovery, of course, the current broadcast partner of All Elite Wrestling, could be interested. With Marchand adding the following quote: "One nugget I was told that may interest wrestling fans is that Warner Brothers Discovery does not have to stay exclusive to AEW. It would be something if it got in on WWE, but I don't see it yet."
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what, look, obviously the negotiations ran out. I'm pretty sure this happened probably on every negotiations where it's like, they negotiate and then, they're like, hey, we want to see what the open market will bring. So that's probably normal.
That's sound negotiating right there.
Especially like these days when there's so many like big money, potential, suitors. But let's run down some of these and talk about what we'd like to see, Larson.
I'll tell you what I'd like to see.
Yeah,
I want SmackDown to go to whatever broadcasting entity that'll put it on Thursday nights.
That's number one for me. I agree totally. I don't care if it's on Facebook. I don't care if it's on freaking Access.
Pluto TV.
Pluto TV. I don't care if it's on Samsung TV, that weird like sub thing that I've got.
Yeah, if it's its own smart TV channel.
Its own, yeah, exactly. It's on Roku. I don't care. I want it on Thursdays because I'm tired of being on Fridays. That being said, it's kind of nice having WWE on Fox. That's kind of it feels good there, but like I can't stand the Friday stuff. Friday's annoying.
No, it's not the best time spot either. I know SmackDown ratings are generally pretty good. I mean, almost got 3 million in that Bloodline segment last week. Well, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I wonder.
That being said, imagine if it's on Thursday night, where what do people do Friday night? They stay home and watch television? No. What do they do?
Bars. They go
have fun.
Hammered.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Go bowling. Go to the bar.
Let me ask this. Do you think bars and bowling are bigger competition than, say, like Thursday Night Football? Because Thursday Night Football is like sort of a thing these days.
Yeah, but that's only 4 months out of the year.
Yeah, it's like a third of the year. Yeah, I mean they already hate.
Two-thirds of the year there's no competition.
They already hate going up against Monday Night Football. I'm with you. I want them on Thursday. I'll put them on Wednesdays.
Wednesday night SmackDown, head to head with AEW.
That's what I'm talking about. Do that shit. See how long. Anyways. So what do you think about if they put it on? So regardless of the night. Like FX, I think I saw a thing. It's in the same number of households. Like that's the idea.
Yeah.
Like Disney would put it on FX instead of ESPN.
Yeah.
FX in the same number of households, generally speaking, as USA and TNT and TBS.
Yeah.
Around 70, 75 or something like that million households.
Yeah. It's included on most cable packages for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, we're sort of to expect like numbers closer to Raw than what SmackDown does.
Well,
right
yeah, obviously
now.
it's not network television. I mean,
Right,
the benefit
yeah.
of being on network television is it's in every household. You know, basically, and
yeah.
and it, you know, you have to surf through a bunch of channels to try to find it if you're just looking for it. If you're not familiar what channel it's on Fox. All right, that's easy to remember. You know what Fox is in your area. You just turn to that channel.
Yeah, yeah.
I still have a hard time remembering what channel USA is here.
I don't know what it is here.
See, so I'm talking
I
about.
don't,
But you know what channel Fox is, don't you?
40. Yeah, or I think 740 on cable. Like, I don't know what I think it's 740.
Oh, it's not that. No, it's not 7.
708. That's what it is.
That's
It's
what
8.
it is. Yes.
Yeah, the Xfinity version is 8.
Yeah. They're going back to the UHF days.
Yeah, right. 56. Yeah. So anyways,
But
yeah,
Apple would be interesting because
nobody has Apple.
nobody has Apple.
That'd be wildly interesting because nobody I know. I have
has
Apple, and there's like 3 good shows on there, and I don't even watch Ted Lasso. People seem to like that. But yeah, Apple has like good stuff, but none of it is like, oh my God. Besides, like, I think I heard some buzz for Severance. Like, I love Severance, like my favorite show last year.
You heard some buzz for Severance. You love Severance.
No, I know. I do. I'm saying out there in the ether, it's not like people were talking about that the same way they're talking about Succession, for example. But I did see that above other Apple shows, which is like nothing. Like besides Ted Lasso. It's
the only 2 Apple shows I hear of is Severance from you and Ted Lasso from every place else.
Right. Yeah, I'm the buzz for Severance.
Yeah, you're apparently the only person who watched Severance.
Right, yeah. But no, yeah, Apple would be, you know, they got all these people have the most money. It's like, how much do they want to overpay? Because that's the thing. Somebody's going to overpay for this.
Yeah. Like if Amazon, who has all the money,
They have all the money.
wants to add to their channel or what the heck was that? You know, their lineup of exclusive programming. They already got Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, right.
Wednesday Night SmackDown along with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
And
that's good for them.
And on top of that, they have had like a lot of success. Like they've touted success with Thursday Night Football. It's not like it's just buried there and like nobody knows about it. Let people watch that shit.
They have success with Thursday Night Football. However, watching Thursday Night Football is usually not an enjoyable endeavor because Thursday Night Football games are usually not very good.
Oh, they put the stinker ones there?
Well, it's usually, sometimes it's just the matchups, but then, you know, you play on Sunday, you got, 3-day turnaround to play another game? That's not enough time to prep.
Yeah,
game
right,
plan
yeah.
for another team. Just the games usually aren't as good.
Yeah, no. I prefer to see people who are tired and beat up playing football.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, look at that guy running to the end zone with a limp. Oh, man. It's like the first play of the game.
Oh, my gosh. It would be interesting if Warner Brothers Discovery got signed a deal for
That'd
WB
be
programming.
amazing. That'd be amazing.
Imagine
How about
the
this?
4-hour block of television, SmackDown and
No.
Dynamite back-to-back, Steve.
Listen.
What?
Dynamite, TBS on Wednesdays. On TNT, Raw on Wednesdays.
Wow, head-to-head.
Have WBD put some head-to-head on their own networks.
Wow.
That'd be amazing. We'll see how long it lasts.
else.
Yeah. Yeah, WBD, I don't see it. They could barely figure out when to put AEW on. Now they got to put it on Saturdays where everybody's rather be going to bars and bowling.
Yeah, or karaoke.
Yeah. Speaking of Saturday, this Saturday, Collision, the first episode, you and I are
that's
going to be
right.
doing a live watch along and a review of it right afterwards.
That's correct.
Not saying that's going to be happening every week.
No, it's not. I'm not Saturday nights. Heck no. I'd rather be at the bar doing karaoke or bowling.
Or bowling. I know, exactly. I'd rather be singing some, some MC5 with you, dude.
Yeah.
And then bowling's trying to knock some pins down. Or whatever the euphemism for bowling is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you according to you bowled a 300 game. I would think you would know that.
Yeah, no, according to me, according to this ring right here, baby, look at that ring, 300.
I'm sure I can go find myself a 300 ring too. Doesn't mean I bowled a 300 game. Someone who was bowling a 300 game, so to say, Drew McIntyre, when he was WWE champion during pandemic, especially put the entire company. Well, Drew, Asuka, Sasha, Bailey, they carried WWE through the entire pandemic. And so, there's been rumors, reports that Drew and WWE have yet become agreement on a new contract for him. His contract runs out early next year. Apparently, PW Insider Elite has an update on Drew's status, stating that there's an internal push from WWE Creative to get Drew back in time for Money in the Bank. But there hasn't been any movement on the new deal between Drew and the company. PW Insider also notes that Drew likely won't be returning to TV until he and WWE agree on how to utilize him going forward. So I guess that's the issue, is with Drew having limited time left on his deal, doesn't want to be doing stuff that's not of consequence. He must be involved in major storylines, apparently, interesting stuff, title pursuits. Seemingly.
Okay,
I would
yeah.
imagine that's speculation on my part, but PW Insider does state that the issues, at least as it pertains to the remainder of Drew's deal, is creative and not financial. At this juncture, I'm sure when his contract's up, he's going to want to raise.
Yeah, so that's like it's like sort of doubly bad, because it's like, if you're a fan of Drew McIntyre in WWE, if you want to see him to go at AEW, this is probably good news to you. Yeah, no, I like Drew McIntyre a lot. I think he's really great. I think there's like a million like cool ideas that they should be able to come up with him, including being a bad guy. I mean, Drew needs to come back as a heel, and they're sort of lacking right now in. Well, I mean, there's I don't know. They got Gunther, who's sort of a dominant heel.
Yeah.
Brock
But
is
he's
sort
on,
of
he's on Raw. That's right. Drew's on Raw too.
Drew's on Raw too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've always been a fan of like the big dominant heel, the big bully guy. That, you know, like Brock Lesnar. You know, like Brock he never needed a cheat to win. He was just a bad guy who could dominate everybody.
Yeah.
Those are rare. They really are.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see Drew try to do that. I think it'd be an awesome opponent for Seth Rollins. Mm-hmm. Especially if Drew like won Money in the Bank and cashed in on him, did an opportunistic cash in with the Claymore. That'd be awesome.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
And then after like he wins, then he picks him back up, gives him a couple more Claymores, and the crowd will be like, "Wait a second, Drew's supposed to be all good natured and stuff." I think there's a ton of stuff you could do that's really cool, Drew McIntyre.
Oh, obviously.
But also like to compound that's just right now. That's just like I don't want to come back TV until I got something good. That's not even counting. Okay, but he's also got a contract coming up that we had heard reports that they're far apart on money.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a lot between WWE and Drew McIntyre over the next 6 months that needs to be figured out. Mm-hmm. If his contract is up at the end of the year or towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't know. I could totally see him going to AEW. Unlike a lot of people in WWE, Drew McIntyre is kind of like, he's going to be a surefire hit wherever he goes outside of WWE. Like
you
WWE,
would think so, but don't put it past AEW to screw that up too, Steve.
that one, like, there's no way they would screw that one up.
Mm-hmm.
Like that dude, there's a number of people in WWE that AEW would be like, we need to do a Friendo Club Wrestling video about that. People from WWE, if you go to AEW, is your situation improved or not?
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre, I mean, none of the women, but Drew McIntyre, he would be champion day one. Are you kidding me? Look at him next to MJF. My God, he'd eat MJF.
I agree with that, but all I'm saying, don't put it past AEW to find a way to screw it up.
I'm not saying they wouldn't make him boring after like 3 weeks, but, you know, he'd be champion. So
international champ, yeah.
Yeah, he ain't beating Orange Cassidy, dude. What are you talking about?
Sorry,
now you're going crazy.
sorry. He debuts for the international championship, loses to Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, he might
roll up with a handful of tights again.
He'll beat Wardlow, maybe.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man. So yeah, they seem to be far apart on a couple different issues. But I hope they get it resolved, man. I like Drew and WWE.
Yeah, Drew's great. Drew's
he's
great.
Awesome, man. He's great.
He's
and
fantastic.
Good for him for saying, yeah, I don't want to go on.
Heck yeah.
Go out there.
He's got leverage.
nothing for me. He's got leverage. Exactly.
He's got heck of leverage. Yeah. Let's talk SmackDown in brief. Some highlights here before we get to the breakdown of the show. So we had a return. Charlotte Flair. She's back.
Yeah.
Interrupted Asuka's the presentation of the new WWE Women's Championship. And then she says, I want that. But she didn't point at the new title. She pointed at the Raw Women's Championship that was sitting on the lectern.
Yeah.
Where the new title used to be.
Yeah.
And twice. I want that one.
A couple times. She was adamant.
Pointed at it.
Right.
I want that one. And
that
if
there.
If I were Asuka, if I were Adam Pearce, I'd be like, here you go.
Here you go. Have at it. Good for you. Charlotte wins again.
Yeah, I know. But
Okay, so let's talk about that really quick, just because
Yeah.
it was so weird.
It was funny. It was really funny.
Clearly that's simply she wasn't paying attention backstage and nobody bothered to clue her in that there's a new title that's around Asuka's waist, right?
Well, the Fightful Select had a thing up over the weekend about how there has been some frustration amongst talent. I mean, I think it about the new titles. I think it was predominantly the fact that Roman and Asuka's titles say undisputed on there when there is in fact another world champion on the other brand.
Yeah.
So by its very definition, it's not an undisputed championship.
Right, yeah.
But if it's a situation where there's new titles being introduced and it's kind of nebulous where exactly they fit in, well, it's not exactly nebulous because they're 1A, 1B in terms of top title, but anyways, I wouldn't be surprised if Charlotte came in, wasn't exactly clued in about a new title 100%. Maybe some confusion about, it's the Raw title, the Raw Women's Champions on SmackDown. That's confusing by itself.
It is confusing.
So I can understand why it'd be confusing. And if you're so used to seeing that belt, how many times has she had that Raw Women's Championship?
Like a million.
8, 9,
Yeah.
I don't know.
A ton.
Tons.
Yeah.
So, she sees that belt. That's the belt she wants. I get it. That's what she thinks is the title she should be going after, not the new one, because she's used to seeing the one with the red faceplate on.
Do you think she understood that there was a new title?
I don't know. I don't
I don't think so. I honestly think that she just like backstage, she got dressed and everything. She is probably so used to just going out there kind of cold because like she's done this a million times. What does it matter? It's like, I don't need to pay attention to what's going on. I go out there, I'm challenging for the title. Maybe everybody just assumed that she knew there was a new title and she just didn't, like, in the hubbub, everything. She didn't notice a new mustard title on Asuka already.
That could be. And that's what I mean. She sees the Raw
yeah.
Women's Championship. She's like, I've had that belt a bunch. I know what that belt is. That's the one I want.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah.
But that's the one I should be mentioning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think she just saw a title, pointed at it, and didn't realize that there was already one on Asuka.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It seemed like a big nothing. They got a match coming up. I think it's like what, the week the
Friday before Money in the Bank.
To go home before Money in the Bank. So the day before Money in the Bank.
And I like the dynamic they got here where Bianca's like, I want Asuka. I want her.
Yeah.
I want her now.
Yeah,
I want to get my title back. And Adam Pearce is like, well, slow down with all that. You get a rematch. And just he was saying to her, don't get involved in the title presentation, please. Mm-hmm. And she responded, I got my rematch. All right. I'll let Asuka have her moment tonight. And then rematch happens, I'll get my title back.
Mm-hmm.
So she seems to be cool with that. Charlotte shows up. She gets herself a title shot immediately. Of course, Bianca's going to be upset because Adam Pearce said, well, you just have to wait now.
Yeah. Yeah.
The couple of segments prior, Charlotte comes in and gets a title shot right away. That doesn't sit well with Bianca, nor should it.
Yeah, I like that too. Yeah. 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 Obviously, we can talk about the online reaction because it's always the same way with Charlotte. And I understand it. I understand it. It's like, Charlotte she comes in and immediately she gets a title. She interrupts Asuka's celebration. Well, number one, Asuka interrupted Bianca's celebration. It's all part of an angle. It's how they justify feuds.
Stories, yeah.
But yeah, Charlotte's thing, her story is, I come from the guy, like I'm the daughter of the guy who won a title a million times. Now I win titles a million times because it's how I, do my legacy and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I win. So, but I also understand people love Asuka and for Charlotte to come in and look, I honestly think that probably on that match before Money in the Bank, Charlotte's going to win that shit because no, hold on just 1 second, because what's more impressive, Bianca beating Charlotte, or what's a bigger deal? Put it that way. What's a bigger deal? Bianca beating Charlotte at SummerSlam or Bianca beating Asuka once again to get the title back at SummerSlam? Because that's where I see this going, is Bianca beating Charlotte.
Potentially. I would imagine the match on SmackDown is not going to have an actual finish because Bianca is going to get involved. That would be my assumption. And
where
if
do you
they
think this is
do a
going to go
title
long
change,
term?
it would either be at Money in the Bank. And then, of course, it's building to a major, probably Charlotte Bianca at SummerSlam. If not SummerSlam, the Mania next year for sure. They're just laying the groundwork now.
But sometime between now and I probably SummerSlam, although I like the idea of Bianca just beating horsewomen at, Bianca beats the legacy, you know, the class of like 2015 or whatever it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she's taken down all those people. Rhea's she's going to be doing the same thing probably. And so it's either going to happen at SummerSlam, which they're going to try to make another WrestleMania this year. You know, like this year, you know, SummerSlam is going to have all the pomp and circumstance of WrestleMania. Yeah. That's a direction they're heading in.
Yep.
And so Bianca's either going to beat Charlotte at SummerSlam or she's going to beat her at WrestleMania. It wouldn't shock me to see that match happen at SummerSlam because it's still, you know, 2 months away.
Yeah.
And so sometime, I guess my main point is sometime between now and maybe involving Money in the Bank, that's entirely possible. Between now and then, it's going to be Charlotte getting that title off of Asuka. I would love for Asuka to be involved in the entire thing, but you know how it goes. Bianca versus Charlotte, that's the match, you know?
Yeah, that's the match they're building to for sure. And maybe they'll start setting things up now. And maybe somehow Asuka will retain the title now. But, you know, because maybe they'll do a feud between Asuka and Io for the title. And then kind of separate of that, Bianca and Charlotte will feud briefly, go their separate ways just to come back to it at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, look, I would love Bianca versus Charlotte absent of the title, without the title at SummerSlam, and then you do it for the title at WrestleMania, and that way Asuka keeps her title. She has a feud with Io Sky. You put that title on Io Sky. You know, man, that'd be amazing.
That would be.
But you know how they are. Also, the titles these days sort of mean everything. So they, you know, put the title back on her. The only reason why I'm like, yeah, this could happen before Money in the Bank is simply because besides Roman Reigns. And I know Gunther's had the Intercontinental Championship for a while, but like the women's tag titles, for example, those traded hands a bunch of times. They're doing a unification for that now too. I get the feeling that they might start playing it a little looser with the titles to justify stories. You know, if like, oh man, we really want this to happen with the title, we'll go ahead and do it. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Let's talk about this. Paul Heyman makes a pitch at the beginning of SmackDown to Jay about why he should stay with Bloodline rather than leaving with his brother Jimmy, and kind of the carrot he's dangling the most prominently is that Roman will do a training seminar with Jay to make sure that he will be the next tribal chief.
I love that you call it a training seminar. He's got some movies, some DVDs, some PowerPoint presentations.
Yes, exactly, all that.
Yeah.
There's some donuts in the break room. Coffee as well, of course, all that. And to kind of show that Roman is genuine in those in all that, and also as a means to have Jay to kind of prove himself, he's put the U.S. title match against Austin Theory.
Yeah.
And Heyman frames it, well, this is your first step on your ascent to becoming the tribal chief once Roman retires, you know, once he's done wrestling.
Yeah.
And Jay is non-committal about signing up for the training seminar, but he's like, I'll take you up on that U.S. championship match.
Yeah, sure.
And it was main event of SmackDown. There's tons of interference from Pretty Deadly, from Jimmy, from Solo. Jimmy inadvertently super kicks Jay, allows Austin Theory to get the cover and the win. And so now there's heat between Jay and his brother. So, I mean, in terms of adding more tension to the story, I mean, you thought Jay and Jimmy were a pretty unified group.
Yeah.
You had the possibility of Jay becoming one-day tribal chief. Jimmy inadvertently cost him the U.S. title. Like, Jay is, once again, in a tough spot. And we see at the end of the show where he walks away from Jimmy. He walks away from from Heyman and Solo.
Let me ask something.
A lot of pushing his hands against his temples. This episode.
At this point, his fingers, like there's like an indentation. There's indented fingerprints right here. Let me ask you something. So I really like the premise of this. I really loved Paul Heyman saying, "Hey, Roman is bringing you up to become the new tribal chief." Would this have been more? And I know it's because of the tribal chief setup that he wasn't there. Roman himself declaring to Jay, "You're next in line." Would that have been a more powerful moment, or do you prefer the back channel way?
See, for me, the back channel means it's like, for the most part, not going to happen. Yeah. You know what I mean? that it's unlikely to happen. It's not going to happen. He's not Solo. If anybody's next in line, is Solo.
Yeah, sure. Well, no, you know what? I think it's like Succession. I think Roman doesn't have.
That could be.
I think Roman doesn't. I don't think Roman thinks there's a time when there's going to be a next in line. I think it's Roman forever.
That's entirely possible. But at the same time, right now, far and away, Solo is Roman's most trusted lieutenant.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And if anybody at this juncture is first in line to be next tribal chief, I would think it'd be Solo, because Solo has time and again proven that he can be counted on, whereas Jay, not so much.
Yeah. No, I really like the premise. And again, it's sort of the thing where, you can, Roman's part-time schedule is perfectly fine. It's not like Brock in 2017, because the story continues and the aura of Roman Reigns persists.
He's there when he's not there.
Right, exactly. And I like this, putting the spotlight on Jay. I think is always a smart move, because he's the best character performer they have. And I don't even think it's close, to be honest with you.
No.
And so I like that, the inadvertent super kick from Jimmy. I mean, come on, at the end of the day, they're brothers. They've been through so much together. It ain't the first time somebody's accidentally super kicked another person between these two.
Yep.
They'll be fine. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting it, because there's a lot of Jey Uso in this episode, and I thought it was stronger for it. Before we continue on with more, though, would you like to pay some bills, Larson?
Let's do it. Let's take a quick break here. Get a word from our sponsor, HelloFresh. Steve.
Yeah.
Summertime's nearly here, which means it's time for me to get started on my beach body.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to get me some Balor abs,
oh man,
6-pack, I need to start eating right and eating well.
Yeah, that right, man. Look no further, though, than HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. With HelloFresh, you'll get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal ingredients delivered directly to your door. And thanks to their calorie smart and protein smart lunch and dinner options, HelloFresh can help you reach your Balor ab goal, friendo.
Oh, that's great. I used to be a bit of an amateur in the kitchen. I basically cooked like the same 4 or 5 things most of my life. But HelloFresh's 40 weekly recipe options have gotten me out of my recipe rut. Every recipe comes with easy to follow instructions as well, so even a cooking amateur like me can get a delicious meal on the table for my entire family fast. That beef bulgogi stir fry is a huge hit here in the Larson household, and my kids, who've really gotten interested in cooking, have really enjoyed helping me prepare the family-friendly recipe options.
HelloFresh also helps take the guesswork out of what to make for dinner and allows you to spend less time on meal planning and prep, so you can spend your summer doing the things you want to be doing.
Like getting me some Balor abs, be counting them like Tony Nese. Right now, friendos can try America's #1 meal kit by going to HelloFresh.com/GIR16 and use code GIR16 for 16 free meals plus free shipping. Again, that's HelloFresh.com/GIR16 and use code GIR16 for 16 free meals plus free shipping.
Wouldn't they be Nese abs then?
Well, I mean, Balor abs is what it was the goal years ago. Still hasn't been attained.
Oh, gotcha.
Either would be fine.
Maybe part of it is that, the Balor expectation, you need to change it to a Tony Nese expectation.
Well, I would feel that's a higher bar.
It is a way higher bar. That dude's
because he's got 8 abs.
He's got so many abs right there.
Balor's just has 6, I believe.
Yeah, man. Also, we've got Money in the Bank qualifiers on SmackDown. We got another one on Raw tonight, but we had 4 of them on SmackDown. As expected, Santos Escobar and Butch defeated Mustafa Ali and Baron Corbin respectively. Bayley and Io Sky beat Mia Yim and I'm lost now. Who was it?
Hold on, please.
I thought you knew. Shotzi, that's right. However, I did notice something on Twitter that I don't know if it means something or nothing.
Oh, the shoulders?
Yeah. Now, I think this year, has WWE actually claimed, or has it been reported they're going with 6 instead of 8? Because lately it's been 8 in the Money in the Bank match. It seems like they're going for 6 this time.
Yeah.
But yeah, regardless if they do something with that or not, it didn't seem like commentary was like, oh, her shoulder's up. So I don't know if they're going to do anything with that. But But yeah, I mean, they could if they wanted to go with a larger field, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is probably all pretty expected stuff. I mean, this is what we called back when we did our preview, or at least you and Phil McDonald, who's showing up again tonight for the Raw preview.
Why?
I mean, we've already paid. We paid in advance. It's been scheduled.
You paid with our money.
With our money, right? So we paid for it. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see about that.
So yeah, this is all to be expected, and it makes the match. I mean, I'd rather have a Butch than a Baron Corbin. Santos and Mustafa Ali. That's sort of a wash. Like, they're both terrific.
Yeah, they are both great. Yeah. They're both great.
But Baron and Mustafa Ali they're both on NXT. So it's like, come on.
Well, the free agents, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But they're doing like they even incorporated Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. They were sitting there ringside, and of course, commentary's like, hey, if Baron wins this, he can go after the NXT title.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really pushing this year with Money in the Bank that you can go after any title. They're not specifying it has to be one of the top 2 titles.
Yeah, because regardless of who wins this, they're moving over to Raw. Yeah. Like, if you're a SmackDown guy who wins Money in the Bank, guess what? You're challenging Seth Rollins, not the Tribal Chief.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Or are you going for the U.S. title or something like that?
Yeah. Remember Austin
again, I don't know why you would, but at least try Seth on Raw for the World Heavyweight. Yeah, going after the U.S. title.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, SmackDown kicked off with Paul Heyman coming to the ring with Solo. Paul's about to do his usual introduction, and he's interrupted by Jey Uso. Jey grabs a mic, gets in the ring, says to Solo, I let a lot of things slide, right? But stabbing your big brother in the back is something you don't do, Solo. I don't know if I can forgive you for that. So say what you need to say to me, OG.
Mm-hmm, yeah. So Paul says, you got this all wrong, and here's why. It's not Solo's fault. It's not my fault. It's not the Tribal Chief's fault. It's not your fault. It's all Jimmy's fault. This is all Jimmy's fault because Jimmy made up his own mind, and not just for himself, but Jimmy made up his mind for you. He says to Solo, please take a step back. It's fine. It's okay. And then he continues with Jey. He says, I'm no physical threat, so you can understand I'm opening up my heart to you. I'm taking a chance right now standing this close, and here's why. When Jimmy kicked the Tribal Chief at Night of Champions, did he ask you about that in advance? Were you in on that? No, Jimmy pulled the trigger for himself and for you. That's the way he's always been because he's the older brother. He was the firstborn. No disrespect to Jimmy, but Jimmy's always resented you. And you want to know why? Because Jimmy's in on something that you're not. Jimmy's in on the fact that Roman wants to groom you to be the next Tribal Chief. That's your future, your destiny, your fate. That's who you're going to be. It was never going to be Jimmy, and Jimmy's known it since day one, and he's resented you ever since. You see, Jey, they're booing because they don't know the truth, and I'm going to prove the truth to you. Tonight, at the Tribal Chief's behest, I have arranged a match that sets your trajectory towards becoming the next Tribal Chief. Tonight, you bring gold back to the bloodline, but it's not tag team gold. Unfortunately, because of Jimmy, there is no more tag team in WWE known as the Usos. I didn't want it this way either. This is what Jimmy caused, but you will bring gold home to the bloodline because tonight you'll defeat Austin Theory for the U.S. title. Your path to the singles champion, the path to becoming the heavyweight champion, starts tonight, and it starts with defeating Austin Theory. Then the Tribal Chief will embrace you and publicly groom you so that someday, when the time is right, Jey Uso, you will become the Tribal Chief.
So Jey thinks it over, and Heyman says, but I need your answer now. So Heyman extends his hand. And Jey really milks it. He's looking at the crowd. So Jey says, first, I'll take you up on that U.S. challenge. And then when Heyman extends his hand, Jimmy just stares at it, looks towards Solo, looks at the crowd. They're all chanting no. And then Jey just says, I'll get back to you on that. And then gets out of the ring.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Intrigue. After that, we had Santos Escobar versus Mustafa Ali. Yeah. LA Knight joins commentary. Yeah.
He's super over.
Oh, dude, he's super over. I know, and it seems like they're starting to recognize it.
I would hope so, because he gets huge pops, and then you just hear everybody go, yeah.
Yeah. They should totally put that Money in the Bank on him. I don't know what he's going to do with it.
He's got time.
You can cash in on the U.S. champion.
You got Money in the Bank. You go after one of the top titles, man.
Yeah, U.S. title, top title, yeah. He'll make it the top title.
You don't go after the U.S. title. You don't go after the U.S. title. Megastar. He's a megastar. He should have top title, not U.S. title.
That'd be great if he cashed in on Roman Reigns.
On
By the
Roman,
way,
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, earlier, Alicia gifted 10 more subs right here to the channel. 10 more memberships, rather, to the YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Alicia. We really appreciate it. We also had a super chat from the Omega Advent. It says, who has a better... Oh, this is... You know what? I love Finn, but come on now. Omega Advent says, who has a better... Yeah, LA Knight or yeah, Finn Balor.
I mean, overall, LA Knights is better, but there's a time and place for Finn's. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I love the Finn Balor. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, man, give me LA Knights. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Santos hits Phantom Driver here to
off
get
the top.
Win. Off the top, really puts him away. Santos leaves the ring. Ray's around. He hugs Ray. He waves out the rest of the LWO, and they all celebrate. They are on the ramp. So could we get an all LWO Mr. and Ms. Money in the Bank? Probably not, but I guess it's possible.
It's possible, I suppose. They're putting the thought out there that it's possible. So then we get Jay. He's pacing backstage, and then Sammy walks up to him and says, pretty big night for you tonight. I know you got a decision tonight, but I just want to tell you something. I never got a chance to tell you when we were all together in the Bloodline. The time we had together, those were some of the best times of my career, my whole life, actually. I know it's some of the best times in your life, too. In a different world, we'd probably still be doing it. The honorary Usos and the Usos. We'd be doing our handshake and the dance. We try to make you guys laugh, making you laugh when you try not to. That couldn't happen, though, because of one man, Jay. And I think you're talking about Roman Reigns. I'm talking about the Tribal Chief. Because when the Tribal Chief takes over, bad things happen. When the Tribal Chief takes over, that's when the Paul Heyman voice starts going in your head. That's when the paranoia sets in, the manipulation sets in, and he pushes too far. Hey, I did it too, man. I did everything I could to put the family first, and just like you, I did everything I could to try to keep things together, just like you, and it was never enough. I constantly had to be pushed and have my loyalty tested over and over until he had me tested against my own brother, just like he's doing to you. Look, you got a big choice to make here, and if you want to roll with Roman and become the next Tribal Chief, I get it. I sincerely hope you win the U.S. title tonight so the Bloodline can see they need Jey Uso more than you need them. Whatever happens, just know the consequences if you go down that road, okay? Because it means no more Jimmy and Jay. It means no more Usos. And that's your brother. So do what's in your heart. You listen to what's in your heart, not what's being put in your ear. And Jay just kind of glances up at Sammy and walks away.
Saw this awesome, Maggie sent me this great tweet today from, what is it, Myth Gifts Wrestling?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Saying that, it says, it shows a still of this. It says, if Sammy hadn't appeared later that same SmackDown, I'd have been willing to accept the theory that he's a figment of Jay's imagination as Jay struggled with what the correct path was, which is brilliant.
That is. That is.
Which is such a great read on the situation. You know, they should have hinted that. Like later on, if Sammy's scheduled to be on the show, he's wearing like a different shirt. You know, he claims that he was like at Waffle House instead of being at the show earlier when he was around with Jay. That's such a great take on it.
Yeah, it is. That is. Then we got, we were supposed to get an Alba Fire and Isla Dawn interview, but they're pretty much immediately interrupted by Ronda and Shayna.
This is such a drag, dude. This is such a bummer.
Really is. So Shayna says, you two want to call yourself the women's tag champs, huh? Let me ask you a question. How much do you know about the history of those titles? See, I'm the reason those titles were even created. Technically, those Shayna Baszler commemorative tag titles are mine. And Ronda says, Shayna, I've been crunching some numbers, and we've been running through the division so fast, we're going to end up hungry soon and maybe realize this division isn't big enough for the two of us. We want yours. So then Alba and Isla laugh. Dawn says, how cute. So you two want to face us for a unification match? How exciting. And Alba says, title versus title, we accept. And then a brawl breaks out. Ends with Isla and Alba standing tall, so they're totally losing the titles next week.
You know, I guess I'd be fine with this if they would have actually sort of built over a couple months Isla and Alba to be so that this wasn't such a chumping out. Because that's what it feels like. Like they're just standing there while Ronda's like awkwardly doing her promo. And then I was just happy they got some words in and then actually had a brawl where they just didn't get eviscerated. But it's such a chumping out, and I hate it. I don't, you know, if you want to, I don't know, sunset the NXT women's tag titles, that's a bad idea also. But like, because NXT, they've got a really deep women's division that they could do tag titles in for sure.
Yep.
But like, it's such a lopsided foregone conclusion here as to what's going to happen. Like, I hate when they just suck all the drama out of it. And it's like, it didn't have to be that way. Like, they could have really built Alba and Isla in an impressive way over a couple months. And then you do this. And if you want to put them both on Shayna and Ronda, whatever, I get it. But yeah, I'm not, they just look like, it's like, they came off as like one step bigger than the Yolo County Tag Champions, you know?
Yeah,
it's like at least Isla and Alba got to talk a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, the Yolo County Tag Champs didn't even get that.
No, I mean, I was kind of hoping that Shayna and Ronda would stand tall at the Brawl, because then at least, you know, based on go home math, maybe Alba and Isla have a chance. Because that'd be something if you know, on one of their first matches on SmackDown, they unify the tag titles and that leads to Ronda and Shayna starting their feud.
Yeah, that could be cool, but my thing is
I don't see it happening, but that's, you know, wishful thinking, you know?
Because that's not going to happen. At least Alba and Isla get this chance to stand tall, because that's going to be it.
No, I know. You
know what I mean? Like, that's going to be it. Oh, man, Leisha just gifted 10 more memberships.
Oh, thank you so much,
Leisha. It's so nice. Another super chat here from Emerald City Picture says, for me, the biggest disappointment about Roman's titles being unified is that LA Knight can't cash in and get a 2-for-1 championship special. And then High Plains Drifter here, a member for 15 months, also a patron now, says LA Knight to give the Bloodline a 4-for-1 special.
Yeah,
that'd be great. After that, we had an Iron Sheik memorial video package. I watched his A&E biography yesterday. It just happened to be on while I was turning on my cable television, which will probably happen less and less over the next couple of years. But yeah, it was really good. A lot of shit I didn't know about. Honestly, like, I'm not that familiar beyond the basics of the Iron Sheik. He was sort of used as the guy that, you know, Bob Backlund was like, I don't want to lose to Hulk Hogan, but I'll lose to the Sheik. And then the Sheik did, and then he had it for a spell, and then Hogan won it from him. So I don't know. It was cool stuff. It was a good little documentary there.
Yeah, they do a good job with those biographies.
They do. Yeah,
they do. Next, we had Bayley versus Mia Yim. This is a Money in the Bank qualifier. AJ Styles joins commentary, and Bayley's, you know, she slams Mia Yim's face in the announce table, and she starts mocking AJ's entrance, where she's doing that right in his face.
It's pretty funny.
It was pretty funny. And then Yim takes out Bayley with a suicide dive. But in the end, Bayley gets the win. She yanks Mia by her hair into the turnbuckle, hits Rose Plant for the win. And then after the match is over, Scarlett just like materializes out of somewhere. She teleports.
Yeah.
Dark arts. She's practicing, apparently.
Oh, yeah. The illusions.
No final countdown being played, though, as she's doing it. She steps up to AJ and blows some red dust into his face. And then Karrion Kross emerges from behind the barricade, starts choking him out with the Cross jacket.
Yeah,
and
that was just like a fan. I was a jacked up fan for a second.
Yeah, I know. With no shirt on.
Yeah.
So the Mia runs over to help AJ, and then Scarlett goes over the barricade, and Kross picks her up.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, that mist was awesome. It was like super dense, you know?
It really was.
It was a great
Did you ever watch V, The Final Battle?
Yeah, I mean, I watched when I was a kid. I distinctly remember the lizard people, and how gruesome the Did they have like a red mist as well?
Yeah, and that was part of the final battle. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was the they called like the Rebel Force used a red powder to
expose the lizard people? Or
no, to kill them
fight
all.
them. Oh, to kill? Oh my God!
Yeah.
Wow, genocide. Ew, wow, gnarly. Come on, humans, just make peace with them. Yeah. Now I remember that a little bit. Yeah, I want somebody really needs to take like now that you mentioned Cross's entrance.
Yeah,
and put the final countdown to it. I bet it's amazing.
That'd probably be pretty awesome.
I bet it's amazing. Yeah, that's good stuff.
It'd be cool if the drums kick in right at the right time, you know.
Yeah, all these gifted memberships from Leisha, all the new patrons we got it reminds me to let people know, of course, that we've got weekly bonus episodes called Overrun. We do them every Friday. And then, of course, we've got the big June Predictions Challenge heading into Forbidden Door on the 29th. We're going to be watching it live. And, of course, we're going to have another Predictions Challenge. John Hosey is going to be putting up his Big Blue Predictions Championship on the line against all the friendos participating. So if you want in on the big June Predictions Challenge,
yes,
click that join button on YouTube, or go to
Yes.
patreon.com/Stephen Larson. It's also where we do our question threads. We got a bunch of good questions on the show later today from all of our patrons and YouTube channel members. Also, later on today, I have to remember to do this. I'll be putting up the unedited, or I'll be unlocking the unedited MyGM videos from the last 2 weeks that we've done it.
Yes.
Rob's going to be working on the latest edit. But if you want it completely unedited with all the bits and pieces, the only way to get that, channel memberships, or if you watch it live, like we do it on Thursday.
Yeah, if you watch it live, it's there too.
But then it's
gone. Yeah. Also, if you're watching here on live, on VOD, whatever the case may be, consider hitting that like button. It's one that looks like a thumbs up.
Hit that like button and
if you're new,
subscribe button.
Yeah, subscribe, notify bell. Apparently, that's the only way you're notified if we have new videos, is if you subscribe and then notify bell.
You got to hit the notify bell with the
two-step process.
Yeah. I don't know why I do my Macho Man at that point. Anyways, after that, Bianca's in Pierce's office, and he's like, look, I get it. You want to get your hands on Asuka, but tonight I'm presenting her with a brand new WWE Women's Championship. It's undisputed. And Bianca says, well, that's cute. But when I get my hands on her, I'm going to take that title from her. And Pierce is like, look, let me be frank. Between that and sorting out the women's tag title unification, there's a lot going on and a lot of eyes on this. All I'm saying is that I needed to come off without a hitch, and I'm asking you not to attack Asuka tonight.
Adam Pearce handles pressure about as well as I do, and that's not very well.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's just, you're just begging people not to screw things up even more. Yeah. Instead of asserting yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bianca says, with all due respect, that's got nothing to do with me. You really expect me to just do nothing after she stole my title and tried to blind me? You want me to do nothing? Pierce is like, kind of, yes. I get it. You are in line for a rematch. So tonight, just for tonight, I'm asking you to leave it alone. Bianca says, okay, since you give me a rematch, I'll let her have her moment and I won't get involved.
Yep.
Bigger person than most, that Bianca Belair. But we'll see where it gets her in just a moment.
Yeah, we will. So first we got the OC. They're checking on AJ backstage. And Mia Yim says, we're going to get Karrion Kross and Scarlett for that. And then Gallows asks AJ, are you fine? AJ goes, no.
They really need a trainer. They need like a medical staff member to be there with them.
Pour some water in his face.
It's just Carl Anderson looking his eye saying, can you see okay? It's like, no,
AJ
Carl?
says. It's Uncle Alan. Are you all right?
Yeah.
So then we have Asuka being presented with the WWE Women's Championship. Adam Pearce is there to host and introduces the ceremony. Asuka comes to the ring. Pearce says, on behalf of WWE, it's my pleasure to present the brand new WWE Women's Championship. He unveils it, and it looks exactly like Roman's belt, but rather than the black leather strap, it's white leather.
I think the white makes the gold and mustard come out a little bit better, than the black. But yeah, it's the same thing. Kind of, they're streamlining this shit. I mean, the big question is, are they simply going to take the Seth title and put a white strap on that and do the same thing for
I think the answer is probably most certainly yes.
I would imagine so, yeah.
So then Pierce is about to put the belt around Asuka's waist, and then you hear Charlotte's music hit. So she comes to the ring, grabs the mic. Pierce asks her, what are you doing? I know what you're doing. At least I think I do. But you kind of need to get in line. And Charlotte says, excuse me? I don't wait in line. I made the line. She says, hi, Asuka. No one respects you more than me. I know what you can do, but I want that championship. She's pointing at the wrong one. So I'm challenging you for that title. It's the wrong one she's pointing at. And then Asuka yells at her in Japanese and then says, I accept. And then Charlotte says, so when you make this match, to Pierce, when you make this match official, you can put that title, she's pointing at the wrong one, around my waist too.
Yeah.
And then Asuka tries to miss Charlotte. Charlotte evades it. Rams Asuka's head into the lectern.
Podium
table thing they had with the new title that apparently Charlotte has no interest in. Rams Asuka's head in that, and then Asuka rolls out of the ring.
Yep, she gets out of there. So we'll see if she actually wants the Raw Women's title or what.
I mean, really, Asuka needs to beat Charlotte in a championship match. That needs to happen.
Look, man, I agree, but like we've been saying that for like 5 years now. When was there a WrestleMania match?
It was 30.
Was it 2017 or 2018?
34.
So 2018.
Is that when it was? So it's been 5 years.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
We've been saying she needs to get that win back for a very long time now. And I just don't think they give a shit anymore.
Probably not.
I don't think it's a I just don't think it does. Like, yeah, it'd be great, but I just don't think it does anything at this point. Oh, look, let's be honest, man. Asuka's had a killer career in WWE.
She's had a very good career, yes.
Isn't it funny how, like, it's never enough because she's so awesome? Like, no matter what they give her, no matter what they do with her, it's never enough because she's so great. And it's
one of those situations where you feel like you left money on the table because, especially when Asuka called up to the main roster, there's so much more you could have done.
Dude,
so much more.
Okay, hold on a second. And I feel you. I do, because I'm with you.
I'm saying from a creative standpoint.
Well, yeah.
You have her beat Charlotte at WrestleMania. You got a huge new star right there.
The most, and again, this should be its own video. It really should be. The biggest, I'm not going to say tragedy, because that's a bit much. But creatively speaking, the biggest tragedy has been the NXT class from like whatever 2017 to 2020 or so.
Yeah.
Including Asuka's call up.
Yeah.
Because Vince McMahon at his worst was booking the show at that point. And so that's why you got like Adam Cole, Keith Lee, they're gone. Swerve Strickland, he's gone.
Bob Roode's character is his theme song.
Bob Roode's character was his theme song. Shinsuke didn't get what nearly, like we were there for peak Shinsuke and just how over he was. And if you think about all those years and that crop of talent that Vince McMahon just whiffed on. So creatively, you're right. That being said, Asuka's won a lot of shit within the context of everybody's creative.
She's had being kind of crap. Career.
Oh my God.
But
she's
it could have
won
been like
everything.
It could have been better.
It always could have been better.
To no fault of her own. I'm saying it's solely creative's fault. Vince's fault.
I agree.
So we're backstage. Jay's taping up. Heyman steps in, says, you got me. That was really slick. You left me hanging. It was a cliffhanger. It makes for good television. Heyman continues, my whole life has been a cliffhanger. But the next thing I want you to do is put in my hand is your passport and your suit measurements. And Jay says, we're going to a wedding? What are you talking about? Heyman says, first of all, I need your passport because you're going to fly on the Tribal Chief's private jet, which will one day be your private jet all the way to Money in the Bank. You'll be flying with the Tribal Chief, with the Wise Man, with your little brother Solo. I need your suit measurements because next week we're going to have a triple celebration. 1, the Tribal Chief will be here next week. It's always a reason to celebrate. 2, new U.S. champ, the right-hand man, Jey Uso. Number 3, a public acknowledgement that you, Jey Uso, will be groomed by Roman himself as the next Tribal Chief. And now, again, Heyman extends his hand. Jey just says, I love it. Next week, big celebration. I might be the new U.S. champ. Yeah, count me in. But OG, I don't know why you're so happy, because if I'm in the bloodline, that means you're out of the bloodline.
Ooh. That's interesting. What a stipulation that is.
I know.
What a caveat for Paul Heyman.
Indeed.
Yeah, you're out, son. After that, we got Adam Pearce, useless, on his phone in this office. And he's talking about Charlotte challenging Asuka. He's like,
super excited about it.
He's like, this is so great. I love Charlotte. Everybody loves Charlotte. We're going to make this match for the SmackDown before Money in the Bank, SmackDown London. And then Bianca steps in and he's like, look, I'll figure it out. She's like, you better. She should have KO'd him right there, man.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, KO'd him right there and said, this still isn't over. You still need to figure it out, but that's what you get just for playing with my emotions like that.
Yep, exactly. Then we got Butch versus Baron Corbin, Money in the Bank qualifier. As mentioned before, Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes sitting ringside. They were announced as, Trick Williams and NXT champion Carmelo Hayes by the ring announcer. So they got the lower third and everything. It was great.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Even an NXT champ broke out towards the end here.
Yeah.
Butch gets the win. He escapes a deep six, hits an enziguri, snaps Baron's fingers. So then Baron responds with a punch, and then he starts talking some crap to Mello.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So then Baron turns around, looks for a chokeslam. Butch reverses that to a roll-up to get the win. Then Corbin goes over to Mello and Trick to talk some crap. He punches Trick.
Mm-hmm.
So then Mello responds with a punch of his own. He and Trick jump over the barricade, and the rest come out to separate everybody, and that's the crowd was chanting NXT.
Yeah, that's a solid way to help. Little thing to help advertise NXT.
Yep.
Over here in our YouTube chat, Sean McCauley here has a really good point. If you guys want, YouTube is kind of weird. if you are open to accepting a gifted membership, you got to go into your settings and opt in.
Yeah, you have to opt in.
So if anybody here has been like, why haven't I gotten one of those gifted memberships? You got to go into your settings and opt in. Also, somebody earlier mentioned that I need to change Asuka's render here in the banner here to the new title, and that's true. I don't know if it's actually changed on WWE.com yet, but that's where I get the renders. I could just Photoshop one, but I like the official stuff. I'm going to see if Asuka. Let's see if they've done that yet.
Yeah, you look into that. We got a Bobby Lashley video package, and then we got a Butch interview.
It's this. They photoshopped it. It's literally the same render, but with the new plate there. That's funny.
That is funny.
I will change that soon then.
We got a Butch interview. He says, I'm coming home. I'm taking that briefcase because every night the Brutes are back in the UK. It's fight night. So then Baron steps in and goes, no, that was unfair. Carmelo was out there. He was causing problems. And then someone comes in and taps Baron on the shoulder. Baron turns around, eats a punch from Cameron Grimes.
Yeah, man. To the moon. After that, we had Shotzi versus Io Sky. Money in the Bank qualifier. This was good stuff. Shotzi hits Io with a suicide dive. Really cool suicide dive.
Yeah.
She puts Io back in the ring, goes up top. Bayley gets on the apron to distract her and allows Io to hit Shotzi with like a palm strike. Io looks for a superplex. Shotzi dumps her to the mat. Ref checks on Io. Bayley pushes Shotzi off the top, and then Io is able to capitalize and hit the moonsault to get the win. So Bayley is still shenanigans here. On behalf of Io. So we'll see. This is going to play out big time at Money in the Bank. What do you think is more likely? Io wins Money in the Bank, or Io doesn't win Money in the Bank and instead she just ends up feuding with Bayley?
I don't think it's out of the realm possibility that Io wins Money in the Bank and she feuds with Bayley.
A little bit of both, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we got an Austin Theory interview. Kayla says, hey, you're defending against Jey Uso tonight. He says, that's the thing. I was the last one to find out about that. How disrespectful is that to the champ? Roman Reigns pulls all the strings. He does whatever he wants. But me, I don't make excuses. I had zero amount of time to prepare for this match, but all I get is victories these days. As far as tonight goes with Jey Uso, he's going to be sent back to the bloodline, the failure that he is. I'm going to beat him just like I beat John Cena at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. Hey, but if Paul Heyman's looking for a new client after next week, I invite him to check out Austin Theory Live.
So I would imagine Triple H, Heyman, whoever, said, hey, Austin Theory, now that you've won at WrestleMania against John Cena, how are we going to capitalize on your character? Do you have any thoughts? I got two ideas, right? One, every single promo I talk about beating John Cena at WrestleMania. Okay, what's the next one? Austin Theory Live. Oh, is it like a talk show? No.
It's just me. I talk.
It's just me. When I talk, it's Austin Theory Live. As opposed to taped? Or what? Nah, I'm live. Okay, man. Like, right? Like, they couldn't come up. Like, is this him? Is this, like, is creative giving him nothing
He should have taken John Cena's character. That's what he should have done.
Yeah. Like, Dr. Thugonomics or current day John Cena?
Current John Cena.
Okay. Yeah. I got the most Make-A-Wishes. Well, you don't. No, now I beat John Cena. Those transfer to me.
It doesn't work that way, Austin.
It doesn't work that way. I'm in movies.
My name's John.
My name's John Theory Live.
John Theory, yeah.
Yeah. You see that little that little tweet somebody posted up of like, what would happen if MJF John Cena get into a promo battle?
Yeah. Oh, Cena would.
My favorite. No, dude, seriously, you're right. My favorite response to this was from Just Talk Wrestling. The Twitter is Just Talk Wrestle.
Yeah.
It says MJF would probably drop a line about Nikki Bella and say something about John's hairline receding. John Cena would then proceed to cook him like he's done with everyone he's promoed with in the last 10 years.
He'd give MJF cry face.
He would dismantle him in moments. Yeah. It wouldn't be difficult.
Here's a major difference I see. I mean, there's several differences in terms of their promo approach. Cena can completely dismantle and give someone cry face in a matter of like 3 sentences.
Yeah, I know.
Cena is so efficient.
Yeah.
With giving someone cry face. MJF just tends to take the long road to get to his point.
You know who John Cena reminds me of? Dr. Manhattan from The Watchmen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you ever
All right, I can see that.
If you ever actually read the comic book, and they sort of touched on this in the TV show is magnificent.
It's really good, yeah.
And the movie, not so much, but the TV show is magnificent. But the book, the comic, he just reminds me of Dr. Manhattan, who just like, just understands that he's evolved to a point where he's above the rest of humanity, but he still feels for humanity.
Yeah.
But he can just take people apart, and he can take things apart and put them back together just with his mind.
Yeah.
John Cena is quickly evolving to that.
Yeah, pretty much. When it comes to a microphone in his hand, for sure.
He's going to show up completely naked and blue-skinned.
Yeah.
And floating, cross-legged.
That'd be quite a feat. And then give MJF cry face.
Right, exactly, yeah. John Cena's going to Mars now.
Yeah. We got Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in the locker room. So Sami and Kevin Owens are talking about Sami's conversation with Jay. Kevin Owens is like, well, now that's over. We can move on. Pretty Deadly steps in. And, they say, hey, have you ever made an effort to address the way you look? Talking to Sami and Kevin. And then they ask for a title shot. Well, this brings in Ridge and Sheamus. They want a match with Pretty Deadly so they can earn a title shot. The OC is next. They want a title shot too. LWO walk in. Street Profits. They all want title shots. So they're all talking back and forth. Adam Pearce is like, what's going on? And then KO just loses it. He's like, everybody's standing too close to me. I can't take this. What is this? I can't take it. So Sami tries to calm him down. He says to Pearce, he's like, what he trying to say is that everybody here wants, and then Kevin Owens says, they all want title shots.
They all want title shots.
So Pearce says, you all want tag team titles? How about you all enter a gauntlet match, and the winner will face you, Sami, and Kevin Owens,
right,
for the tag team titles.
Yeah. This is funny stuff, man. Kevin Owens like really quickly just turning into like a Serenity Now guy,
Yeah, he's Frank Costanza at this juncture.
He is Frank Costanza. Me and Sami, we're the place to be.
Like the slightest little bit of pressure, and he's just it's I got a lot of problems with you people.
It's kind of awesome. It's kind of
great. It's pretty funny. Pretty funny. Then we got a Grayson Waller video package. And then we got Jey Uso taking on A-Town Down, Austin Theory live.
Yeah, that's our main event right there. Main event Jay, back at it. Of course, Austin Theory escapes with another win here because of shenanigans. So Pretty Deadly. So Theory's looking for A-Town Down. Jay escapes that, hits a super kick and uppercut. Theory responds with a boot. Jay follows with an enziguri and a super kick, which sends Theory into the ref. He tumbles from the ring. Jay hits a splash up top. Covers 1, 2, 3, 4. No ref there. Pretty Deadly comes to ringside. They punch Jay. Jimmy runs to the ring. He hits Kit Melton with super kicks. Solo gets in the ring, drops Jimmy with a punch, picks him up, looks for the spike. Jay blocks it. Solo pushes Jay aside. Jimmy looks to super kick Solo, but he moves. Jay eats the super kick. Jimmy sends Solo out of the ring, hits him with a plancha. Theory slides into the ring, covers Jay to get the win. So Jimmy gets in the ring. Solo and Heyman are standing at the foot of the ramp. Jimmy checks on Jay as Jay is just pissed off. Jimmy helps Jay up. Jimmy tries to give him a hug, but Jay just pushes him off, leaves the ring, walks up to Heyman. Paul's is like, I'm sorry. And then Jay walks up the ramp, and he gets the old thing with his hand. And then Heyman gives Roman. He says, call Roman Reigns. But then he doesn't really look at his phone or anything. He says it twice. He does it twice, yeah.
And then he puts his phone down.
Right, yeah. He thought they were going to be cutting before then.
Yeah, he thought they were off the air or something.
Yeah, right.
So, who knows? Jay again in a tight spot.
Yeah. Before we get to our Rampage recap here, Jose Alaguna says, with the super chat, says, would Cena give LA Knight cry face? No, LA Knight is like... No, he's impervious to that.
The character of LA Knight is completely devoid of any sort of I had the word in my head and I lost it. Self-awareness.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He would no-sell every insult John Cena threw his way.
He says also, who could stand toe-to-toe with John Cena? Nobody with any vulnerability whatsoever.
Samoa Joe.
That's actually a really good name. That's a really good one, yeah. Samoa Joe.
Because Samoa Joe,
talk about a whiff. Samoa Joe coming from NXT to main roster. We had hints of it too, man. He'd be going in there just blasting everybody on those promos. To this day,
so good.
When somebody posts up on Twitter, they had that big sort of multi-man promo, And Joe
so good.
shows up and he just eviscerates everybody.
So good.
Oh,
So
God.
good. No, that segment with him and Heyman,
Yeah.
where he backs Heyman to the corner,
And
talks about how
all-time.
he's going to put him to sleep. Oh,
All time. Yeah.
oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man.
Joe and Cena. That's a missed opportunity there.
That's the good stuff. Rampage also happened. We have a new number one contender for Toni Storm's women's title, and it's Sky Blue because she won a fatal four-way between Nyla Rose and Britt Baker and another person. Who was it?
Nyla, Britt, Sky
Mercedes
Blue,
Martinez.
Mercedes Martinez, who we hadn't seen in a while.
Has she been on Ring of Honor?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Athena seems to be doing terrific work there. The only thing I ever see from Ring of Honor is clips of Athena doing hilarious, awesome stuff that needs to be on cable TV.
it really does need to be on cable television. Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
good. I'm really hoping. I think she's in a feud with Kiera Hogan right now, who I really like. Kiera Hogan.
Yeah, Kiera Hogan's great.
I hope Kiera Hogan beats Athena and Athena goes to cable TV. I want to see her on my TV, man.
I know, she's so good.
I don't got the Honor Club anymore. I got rid of it.
Let's just jump right into it and talk about stuff as it you know.
Sure.
We mentioned it. Show opens with Lucha Brothers and Bandito taking on Ethan Page, Big Bill, and Lee Moriarty. It seems like so Lucha Brothers hit Lee Moriarty with Fear Factor on the apron. Bandito's looking for a moonsault on Page, but he gets his feet up, looking for an Ego's Edge. Well, Matt, Jeff Hardy, Brother Zay come out to the ramp. And Matt says, "Hey, we're disappointed in you, Ethan Page."
Hey.
And Jeff says, "Yes, I gave you 2 gifts, so extend them." And at first, Page is like, "I will not extend them." And then Jeff's like, "Extend them." And so Page pulls up on his arm some Jeff Hardy arm sleeves, like with the holes in it.
Yeah.
And so with that distraction, allows Bandito to hit Page with the 21 plex to get the win. This was a really fun match.
Yes, this was a lot of fun. I like the Ethan Page Hardy Party stuff. I think they all have great chemistry.
They do.
And then we have the exact opposite of that with QTV, which somehow, some way manages to get worse every single segment. This is so embarrassing to watch. It is so embarrassing to watch. So we're going to skip over it. To Powerhouse.
It's horribly embarrassing. It's garbage. It's garbage.
It's so bad. Anyways.
It's garbage.
After that, we had Powerhouse Hobbs crushing Caleb Crush with a spine buster. And then it was followed with Wardlow and Arn Anderson in an interview. Wardlow needs to work on his promos. He's so fidgety. Have you noticed how, like, Arn, it starts off with Arn and he's talking about the Brock Anderson stuff. How he was laid out by Christian and Luchasaurus. And Arn says, "Brock's going to be fine. Brock's a tough man. I've been seeing that more and more often, more things that occur. Now, Christian, you and the giant lizard, you decided to send me a message. Right now, at this time of my life, that's way beyond okay. Renee, you're married to a savage. You know more than anybody in this room that this is a tough business. You made one mistake. You should have finished it." So, pause there. You made one mistake. You should have finished it.
Yeah.
What does he mean?
By that point, he's talking to Christian.
Yeah, I know. But what was the mistake? Beating up Brock Anderson?
I mean, the subtext there is that he should have beat Brock even worse.
Right.
Am I right?
Finishing a person by beating them up is tantamount to right.
Yeah.
Forever sleep, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah.
So he's saying, Christian, you should have killed Brock.
His son.
You're right. His son. Okay. He says, but first, and the Wardlow, he says, you said when you won that title, be an open challenge. By God, you meant it.
Arn is just Wardlow here.
Arn is just a whispery Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, please.
A little gravelier, too.
Now, you need to be really fidgety when you're Wardlow.
Just wait.
Yeah, please. Here's Larson's Wardlow.
The disrespect's been unreal. When you disrespect Wardlow, it comes at a cost. We disrespect Arn. Oh, man, it comes at a cost. A few men have paid Luchasaurus and Christian. I beat Christian at his own game. Clearly, they still think they owe us more. They're going to pay, but you're right. This Wednesday, I've got an open challenge with a man I'm very familiar with. Clearly, Jake Hager. God, this promo's too long. Forgot what happened the last time he stepped in the ring with me. So I guess I'll just have to beat him one more time. Once that's done, Christian, Luchasaurus, Your days are done.
Meanwhile, the producer's like, why is he forgetting every other line?
He comes off as nervous.
He does. He really does. Like, it's sad.
Like, here's the thing. I could not do this. I could not do a live promo like this.
I'm not saying I can't either, but I'm not getting paid to.
Exactly.
If I'm getting paid to, I could probably do a promo.
Maybe. I'm not that articulate, so him going, would be me. It's just not something you hear often when people drop promos.
You also have you have like a gravitas to your voice. You've got a nice deep voice. Wardlow doesn't. It's like Arn next to him, Chris, and you should have killed my son, Well,
here's the thing. I think Wardlow could, but I don't feel like he has the confidence to deliver a promo with that voice.
Yeah,
because he actually has his voice has some. He's got some bass to his voice. It does.
Doesn't though. It kind of doesn't. It's sort of.
It does in terms of timbre, but not in terms of his confidence.
So okay, this is what I equate it to, and that means there's hope at the end of the tunnel for Wardlow.
Yeah,
it's not like Goldberg's voice is all that gravelly or like deep, right? He's got sort of a normal voice, same as Wardlow. Yeah. He's got like a normal dude's voice, right? Goldberg was not a good promo back in the day. No, you didn't believe a damn word. He seemed to have more camera confidence than Wardlow has. But whenever Goldberg spoke back in the day, it really was not impressive.
No.
Fast forward 15 years, he can't wrestle a lick, but Goldberg can cut a decent promo.
Yeah, he's a much better promo now, yeah.
He's got that arrogance about him, which he carries in real life, so it carries over in the promos. And I feel like Wardlow, one day, will have that same confidence because of reps. I mean, you just need to do it a lot.
Exactly. See, if Eric Customer here in chat has it, Wardlow should go the Juice Robinson route. And that's not necessarily, like the high-pitched screaming like Starscream.
Yeah.
He should just be like a heel that is just a wild, crazy heel.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Unlock that from your, within you. And that can give you the confidence, I feel like, to do so many more things.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like he honestly, honest to God, I think it's simple, and I think you're sort of touching on it. He doesn't really know who he is.
No,
and it's because he's just like babyface who beats people in a dominant fashion. There's nothing there, and it's like putting him with Arn Anderson kind of only exposes that a little bit more.
I know, because we all know who Arn Anderson is.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I know. Next up, we got Angelico, Serpentico, and Luther taking on the Acclaimed Daddy Ass. This match actually went on much longer than I thought it was. I actually got a commercial break, but result the same. Acclaimed win.
Yeah.
Caster pins Luther after a mic drop.
Yep. After that, they recap Dynamite, and then man, it's so funny. I've been so my Twitter, Twitter's a mess these days.
Absolutely.
I'm always one thing away from just deleting the damn thing.
Same.
But especially the For You tab. One thing I've noticed, and the reason why I bring it up here is because we're about to see Jeff Jarrett on our screens. And I love it. Right. You and I were both big Jarrett fans, and I love all this shit here. They got a mixed tag match. 6-on-6 so they can get Aubrey into a match. It's super cheesy, but I love it. But like a lot of people, and we've been very critical of AEW as of late because we feel like creative's really not that great.
No.
A lot of people are in the same sort of boat. The funny thing is nobody really seems to know like what the problem is or why it was. Like I've seen multiple tweets from multiple like sort of wrestling, accounts, which is like, I miss old AEW. They should go back to what they used to be. And then people pointing out just how thin the roster was like in early AEW.
Yeah.
And it's like, I saw one account that was like, stop trying to be WCW light. I'm like, dude, the entire point of being on Turner in the first place was to sort of like was to try to bring in like the lapsed WCW fans from back in the day. Like Cody's entire thing back in the day was sort of like channeling that energy. It's funny because nobody can sort of agree on what AEW used to be and why they liked it so much better. I don't know.
But I saw some people blaming Jeff Jarrett for the downfall of AEW.
And dude, that's exactly I have seen. But the through line is, why is Jeff Jarrett on my TV?
Yeah.
And that's why you're right. That's why I brought that up.
Yeah.
Because we have Jeff Jarrett, Karen, Jay Lethal, Sanjay, and Satnam in an interview next. And Renee asks Sanjay what's going on. And Karen snatches the mic. I'll tell you what's going on. I heard AEW's dramatic divas in the building. She started something last week that I'm here to finish right now. So Aubrey, get your butt out of here because I'm going to make you regret ever laying your hands on Karen Jarrett. That brings out Mark Briscoe and Aubrey Edwards. Aubrey says, look, Karen, despite my best efforts, AEW will not sanction a match between you and I out of respect for the men and the women in the back because I'm a ref and you sure as hell aren't a wrestler. But I'm going to tell you what's going to happen because if I see you in catering or run into you at the hotel after the show, if I catch you interfering in one of your husband's matches, I'm going to kick your ass. So Mark Briscoe says, simmer down, Karen Jarrett. Simmer down. Now, Aubrey, I forgot to tell you this, but I had some conversations with important men in high places, and you're correct. They will not sanction a one-on-one match between Aubrey and Karen. The good news is they will sanction some mixed tag team action. Let me be more specific. Some mixed trios tag team action. And so Sanjay volunteers Jay Lethal to tag with Jeff and Karen. Asks Mark, he's like, hey, I'm looking at the math right here. It's 3-on-2. And Mark says, don't take me for some fool. If you think I'm not already ready 2 steps ahead, you're sadly mistaken. There was one man who told me not to trust you clowns in the first place. Our tag team partner is my dad, Papa Briscoe. I did not see this coming.
No, I didn't.
That is amazing. I am so happy about that. And I'll be honest with you. I give props to AEW for doing that because it's just going to piss all the other accounts off.
I know. It's fun. It's silly.
Yeah. It's
There's a place for it. There's a place for it on wrestling television.
It's not the problem with AEW.
No. Then we get a video package hyping up the main event. And then we get the main event: Sky Blue versus Nyla Rose versus Mercedes Martinez versus Britt Baker. Fun match.
Oh, this is a wildly fun. Yeah,
it was really fun. Down towards finish, Nyla's looking for a choke bomb on Mercedes. Mercedes counters with a knee, though, hits an exploder suplex, and then Britt stomps Nyla. Mercedes throws Britt out of the ring. Britt yanks her out. They start brawling on the floor, and then Sky Blue hits Nyla with the code blue to get the win.
Yeah. Heather has a good take on it here. She says, I preferred AEW at the beginning because it was truly a WWE alternative. The handful of WWE talent they had weren't the main focus, except for Mox and Jericho. Obviously, I think it'd make for an interesting conversation.
Definitely.
To have about that. I think that's a good take, and I think it sort of nails it a little bit. I think that for me, I know the beginning of AEW was look, WWE then and WWE now are kind of two different things, and I truly believe that. I think you could look at how like the response to the premium live events are right now, and see that there's a vast difference between now and 2019 main roster WWE. If you look at what they were doing back then, especially like Hell in a Cell 2019, widely known as like for a lot of people, and I know you and I, we were sort of like, no, that kind of made people were tuning the fuck out after that premium live event. They really were. A lot of the shit in 2019. I thought Survivor Series was really cool because of the NXT.
Yeah, but I think to a certain degree their hand was forced with all that, though.
I think during pandemic also, WWE's product, they did not handle pandemic very well, whereas AEW actually really did.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of
creative
cool
with how they approached it, yeah.
Yeah, they really did. I thought there was a lot of cool stories. Plus just the natural, like, hey, we're going to sign a bunch of people that WWE did not use right, and we're going to start using them right. And I think they did that to a degree. I really do.
Yeah, for a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, no, definitely a conversation to have, but it does make me laugh to see so many people like, oh, wow, what are they doing? Like, how can they do this? This is what I liked back in the day. Look at the talent they had back in the day. It's like, I don't know. Their talent pool right now is actually pretty stellar.
Yeah. The talent pool is not an issue.
Yeah.
It's the person putting the talent together and coming up with the creative is the issue.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Yeah. Cody left and it all went to shit. So let's go ahead and answer some questions here because I got a thread here on the YouTube and I know you got a thread on the Patreon.
I do.
All right. So first up, we've got this person, the Blind Mask, says, he says, this is not a question. He says, just want to say thank you for helping me through tough times. Just received some negative news involving my eyesight, and I'm really scared and sad right now, but you guys in wrestling are helping me distract myself. Well, I'm so sorry to hear that. Hopefully it turns out for the better. You never know. And medicine and science can do some tremendous things. But
pretty incredible things these days,
We're not going anywhere. We're going to be here for a while, so if you need a pick-me-up, go ahead and turn us on.
We'll be here. Adam Fella asks, who is your Mount Rushmore of depth wrestlers?
Another video that needs to be made.
I know. We still got to do the tier ranking of WWE roster.
Oh man, I mean, I think it's too early. It's like too early. I can't really say.
We still have to agree on the definition of depth wrestler.
We need definitive criteria that you can look at based on match wins and losses, titles earned or not, or won or not, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Taylor Sexton, besides Chad Gable, who is this generation's Shelton Benjamin, a guy who's critically underrated but always puts on bangers?
Who's what underrated?
Underrated. It says a guy who's critically underrated, but I think is underrated in terms of may not utilize the best, but always puts on really
so
good
that
matches.
because even back when Shelton was at his prime, people knew that he was special and that he was underused.
Yep.
So I think he was rated properly by the fans, but it's just he wasn't used well by WWE.
I think that's the gist of the question there. Yes.
His tag team partner, Cedric Alexander.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That guy has so much more to offer. And
I know.
And his 205 contemporary, Mustafa Ali.
Yep.
Although maybe things are turning around for Ali right now.
Maybe. But yeah, Ali's great.
He is.
He should have won the U.S. Championship at the very least at this point in his career.
Yeah. Guardian Ape says, with the success and longevity of the Bloodline story, could you see them doing a similar type of story with the Judgment Day as cracks in the armor are beginning to show? Let me broaden this question out a little bit. Can they or will they use the success of the Bloodline as inspiration to try to tell 5-year-long stories involving larger factions or characters that have more history?
There's something very unique with the Bloodline. I mean, it's all part of the project to make Roman Reigns the guy. That's obviously a facet of it. But the very particular set of circumstances that led to Roman become Bloodline Roman is hard to recreate.
Sure.
For example, with Judgment Day, you could say, well, the last time Finn was in a huge faction, what happened? He got kicked out of it, got kicked out of the Bullet Club. So the worry of betrayal, I guess, in theory, is there. Will that lead to the same reaction to said betrayal as we've seen with Roman? And that's just, if you want to kind of do a carbon copy of the general story beats of Bloodline to another story. But if in the broader sense, should long-term storylines be more of a focus for factions? Absolutely.
When you look at the relationships within the Judgment Day, I think if they really wanted it, they could have it. I don't know if they see it that way.
Yeah.
But as, who is this? Ciderpunk here in our Twitch chat says, Rhea breaks the heart of Dom by saying she never cared for him. That's a huge story beat that they could get to at some point. There's a lot they could do. They need the Judgment Day to really lean into, over a long period of time, the dynamics of their relationship and wins and losses, titles won, titles lost, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm not saying try to match the Bloodline like on a story beat level or anything like that, but really take your time and analyze and dig into relationships with stories, and don't be afraid to let this stuff play out over a long period of time, because as you see, there are many big story beats in the Bloodline that I think you can tell big story beat storytelling over a long period of time with a number of other wrestlers. It just depends on if WWE is going to have the patience for that.
Exactly. Or if that's even a focus they want to pursue,
Yeah, for sure.
Nick Kyle here asks, what are some matchups you're looking forward to most from each block of this year's G1? Oh, it's Eddie. I don't know who Eddie's facing. Who is Eddie facing?
Eddie Kingston. Yeah. Did they release the blocks today?
Yeah, they did.
All right. Yeah, I'm kind of curious what Eddie's doing. While you do that, Eastside Review says, if you could have the ultimate fast food feast, what items from which places are a part of yours?
Oh, my goodness.
So, Long Boy chicken sandwich from Burger King. Arby's curly fries.
All right.
McDonald's chocolate milkshake.
All right.
Oh, actually, no. Take that milkshake away. We'll do Wendy's version of the chocolate milkshake because I think that's actually better. And then McDonald's apple pie.
Good call on apple pie. Give me the Cali burrito from Del Taco.
Good.
Give me two hamburgers from McDonald's plus an apple pie.
Yeah.
Popeye's chicken sandwich, spicy.
Oh, killer. Yeah, so good.
And then give me a milkshake from Frosty Queen in the San Fernando Valley.
Okay, yeah.
The best milkshake I probably ever had. So in Eddie's block, you got matches with Ishii.
Oh, good.
Evil.
Okay.
Here's a major one. Shingo.
Ooh, that'd be good.
C block.
You know what I would have liked just for the promo is Eddie versus Zack Sabre Jr.
I know.
For the promos alone.
I know. Zach's in D block.
What a bummer. Jet Turner says, will there be G1 Climax matches at Forbidden Door?
I doubt it.
I doubt it as well.
I think they've already announced the schedule.
Oh, wow. Gwen Mendoza says, when are we getting the Steven Larson VTuber debut stream?
I don't really know what VTube is.
I think it's when somebody takes like a little animated version of themselves.
It's like an avatar, yeah?
Yeah. And instead of putting like their face on camera.
All right.
That seems a bit ambitious.
We've already been doing this for 3 weeks with our face on camera, so I see no reason to change.
Yeah, I don't need I already have like a CG render of myself.
Yeah, it's a new podcast. If we can go down that route, that's what we should have started with.
Right, exactly. Oh, this is a good question. Jesse Helsia. Sorry, I know I've done like 3 in a row. I'll let you get
That's
to it.
fine.
Says, when's the next retro review coming out? We don't know. We need to schedule one of those soon, though.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that today.
Yeah. Alex Foster here. If you got to decide your stipulation for a KOPW match against Yano, what would the stipulation be? This is what I would do.
Yeah.
It's a game of Trivial Pursuit.
Good.
You get a question right, you get to do a move on your opponent.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But if you get it wrong, they get to hit you.
Oh, okay.
You get a piece of the pie put in to your thing. You get to do one of your signature moves. You make it all the way in the middle, and you get it right. You do your finisher, you win.
Okay. All right. Good. I like that. I can't beat that. Trivial Pursuit. I like it. Why don't you go ahead and do another one since I did.
All right, sure. Most pose, we kind of talked about this. If not Bianca, who should take the title off Asuka? It'll probably be Charlotte. I hope it's Io.
Yeah, I'd like it to be Io. That's who I'd like it to be. Yeah. I have a question that I think, let me see if anybody actually asked it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Heather was curious because Heather is our resident Impact aficionado. What do you think about Macklin losing his world title to Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin beating, there you go.
Trey Miguel,
Trey Miguel for the X Division title at Impact against all odds.
I haven't watched Impact in a few weeks, so I don't know what stories are going on. I was surprised that Macklin lost because he just won that title not long ago. It seemed like he was going to be their top guy. That's the way they've been booking him for a stretch. So I was surprised. I was actually also surprised that Alex Shelley apparently also never has won the Impact World Championship.
Well, there's my conspiracy theory. They're both going to AEW. They got Collision. They want to beef up their roster. Contracts are coming up. Who knows if people are going to be leaving? You bring Macklin over. You bring Trey Miguel over. I think they're all elite, man.
Could be.
I have no idea what their contracts with Impact Wrestling is. I have no idea.
Reckless speculation.
That's just my reckless conspiracy theory right there. But like, it kind of makes sense. Like, why would they do this unless Macklin was leaving?
Again, I haven't watched Impact TV for a while, so I don't know what story they're telling with Macklin. Don't know.
Heather says Macklin will get another crack at it, and Shelley really needed that belt after 18 years of trying. It just feels like they are the reliable in case there's about to be turnover. But that's, again, like you said, I haven't watched Impact for a couple weeks either. Yeah,
I have no idea what stories they're telling there. Cameron Bortolazzo asked, will there ever be an ACW DPW Super Show?
I mean, that'd be awesome. You know, we're still very new at this. The fellas obviously know what they're doing, and we're still trying to figure out these waters.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
This is a good question from Ty Moore. What classic Disney character should be the one to dethrone Roman?
Classic Disney character. Who's the big rooster guy? I'll say it.
That's Foghorn. Looney Tunes, man. That's Foghorn Leghorn.
Foghorn Leghorn. They're not part of Disney anymore?
No, I don't think they ever were.
I mean, they didn't get like Disney didn't buy everybody.
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, they're they're WBD. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so if not Foghorn Leghorn, Disney character, Buzz Lightyear.
All right, that's good. I'm going to say Animal from the Muppets.
Animal. I love him. He's great. Let's see here. Ulysses says, since Cody won't be competing for Money in the Bank, how do you guys see him challenging Roman again?
Win the Rumble.
Well, he says him winning the Rumble again would be too much for me. Is he even still the guy? Yeah. Cody says it himself. He's still the guy.
Finish the story.
I don't know. It's either him or Seth.
Or Jay. Have it be Jay.
Let's see. We talked about this a little bit. Oh, here we go. Ted says, BK Longboy chicken sandwich or Del Taco. Don't make me choose. Don't make me choose.
Right now I can't really eat chicken, so I'll go with Del.
Del, I feel okay. Yeah, but Del is chicken. Oh, but you have the Cali
burrito. It's got beef in there. It's got carne asada. Wow,
so you have to sacrifice the two chicken.
I do. I can't eat chicken right now, man.
Boy, oh boy, how the mighty have fallen.
Yes, like we went out to dinner. We picked up our wine shipments yesterday, and so on the way back home, we stopped for dinner. I'm looking at the menu: chicken. I get a BLT.
Oh yeah, hey.
I mean, I like BLT, so it's not a huge. It's not a huge loss, but so many of the other options that look good: chicken.
And all you see is like fuck you.
And all I see is like upset tummy.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So. Lord Blake here with the super chat says, congrats to Alex Shelley for winning the Impact title. I like this here. Heather says, as Big MGM said here in chat, Saban cashes in option C on Alex Shelley.
Oh, that's interesting.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's a good one. That's
interesting.
Let's see here. We already answered a Disney question. There's a second one here from Devmo, but I'm going to push on that because we already did a Disney question.
Fair enough.
We'll before we get to the Raw preview with Phil McDonald, DJ Mott here says, since WWE is shrinking its active belt collection, do you think the men's tag title should be unified into a single belt, or should they stay separate belts in case they go to separate brands?
Separate belts.
Do you like rip them apart? Have Kevin and Sammy defend them individually, basically?
Yeah.
I agree.
If Kevin Owens having an issue handling pressure, imagine the pressure involved in having to defend those titles separately.
I like that. Yeah, that's good. All right, so it's time for the Raw preview with special guest Phil McDonald.
Do we have to? We've already gone over an hour and a half. We just call it a day. Good.
He's waiting. We've already paid him with our money.
You paid him with our money. I had.
We should probably do
no role in that.
We should just do this. I know you're kind of like, it's late in the day. You might be a little bit on edge, but just maybe take some deep breaths. Let's just get over with. All right. Take some breaths, and you'll be fine.
Let's get it over with.
Okay.
Speed run it.
I'm gonna bring him in here. He already said there's a little chat here in the Zoom. He says, "Where's that dumb son of a bitch Larson?" So he's already spicing it up.
Huh?
All right, yeah, here we go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Phil McDonald here for a Raw preview. What's up, you dumb son of a bitch?
Hi, Phil.
Hey, what's going on, Larson? You look extra tired and cranky today. Let me guess, you didn't rub one out before the show, did you?
Well, that's the prospect of doing the show and knowing you were going to be on here.
Stop talking and don't interrupt. First up, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn take on Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser. What are they taking them on? I want to know. We're talking about some good old-fashioned orgy situation here. Move on next. Anti-Orny didn't want to talk about sex. Next, Cody Rhodes takes on The Miz after Cody Rhodes slugged the A-lister on Miz TV. Wait a second. Oh, that's a match. I thought it was going to be another Miz TV. Match. Cody Rhodes versus The Miz. Who you got winning this win?
No, it's Cody, of course.
Cody or Mike?
Cody. Mike doesn't win matches.
Mike's his name. Mike.
Yeah, I know.
He's like, he walks into a house like, hey, it's me, Mike. Next up, Matt Riddle to battle Damian Priest in a Money in the Bank qualifying match.
That's right. Well, thank you, Phil. Thanks for doing Raw preview.
Who wins this match?
Damian Priest. Thanks, Phil, for helping us out with the Raw preview. Appreciate it. You can go ahead and go on about your day, and Steve and I wrap up the show. Thank you.
All right, so I'll see you on Friday. Is that correct?
No.
I'll see. Wait, what? What? I'll see you on Friday for the SmackDown preview. I can't wait for that one.
Prefer not to.
How about this? On SmackDown for the preview, I'll come in pantsless and underwearless. Or how about this? How about this? Wait, listen. Just don't interrupt. Listen.
You don't interrupt, damn it.
Listen. I'll wear my tighty whities and I'll take my rod out. Whoa, what?
You shut your mouth.
Oh my gosh. Why are you yelling at me?
This? It's my show.
Shut your mouth. How about that?
And you shut your mouth. I'm tired of you coming on here talking about not wearing pants.
Listen.
You listen. I think this is it. I think we're going to have to let you go.
I think I know what you're saying.
No, we're done. We're done.
I know what you're saying. You want to see my butthole?
No, I'm saying you're done. No more Phil McDonald on Going in Raw.
What does that mean? Are you stunning me?
Yeah, you're fired.
Are you dropping my employment status with the Luthez Press?
Yes.
And Fast Hands?
Yes.
But I'm the baddest motherfucker in this place. You can't fire me. I fire you.
No, you can't fire me. This isn't your show. This is my show.
It is now my show.
Security, help escort him out.
Hey, wait. Get your hands off me. What are you doing, goddammit? Don't you think you're going to get away with this, damn son of a bitch? What happened?
I had enough.
Did you just fire Phil McDonald?
I did. He's been paying it. You paid him in advance. What's the matter?
You fired him?
Yeah. I was tired of hearing about him pantsless all the time. I had enough.
Oh, he didn't actually show his organ, did he?
I wasn't going to let it get that far. Fired. Gone.
You fired? Man. Oh, I got a lot of explaining to do now. Wow.
What?
To Phil. That went downhill fast. That went downhill fast.
You never have to talk to him again. He's fired. Done. Gone.
Yeesh. Oh, man. That was a shocking turn of events right there.
What do you have to explain? You had nothing to explain. He's gone. Done.
Man, it's like Monday. I thought you'd be like fresh from the weekend and this would be fine.
It takes 2 seconds of being around that jackass and it exhausts me.
Are we at least going to do the Friday preview with him?
No, we're not. He's done, effective immediately.
Phil's done?
He was escorted out by security.
No.
Yeah.
You had security escort him out?
Yeah, because he was, doing the Stone Cold.
The bark thing?
Well, he wasn't barking at me, but he was, God. Hey, get your hands, what do you think you're doing, you dumb son of a bitch, all that kind of stuff.
Holy
crap. Security called.
Oh, my God. Bark like a dog. I told you, hey, get your hands off me. Stop touching me. Bark like a dog.
Steve, why you let him on?
Bark.
Why'd you back on? You did that.
He did that.
No, you can't. You
can't how he got access to the Zoom key.
Not with kicking you out in the same time.
Man, he just ran in. Security had to drag him back out there. That was crazy.
It doesn't work that way.
Wow.
If he calls in and you're still here, you remain here. You don't disappear.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's not how Zoom works.
It does. Like he replaces my.
That's not how it works.
It's the update.
There's no.
Yeah, it's the update.
It's not how it works.
Maggie says she's going to send me instructions to block his IP, but I don't know what IP means. Anyways.
It's an IP. Yes, please do, Maggie.
I don't know what that means. So anyways, that sounds like IP, YP, crazy stuff. So anyways, that's going to do it for the show. Shocking turn of events with Phil McDonald, celebrity impersonator, Stone Cold Steve Austin, celebrity impersonator. Went too far with
Reached my limit.
So shocking turn of events. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We definitely appreciate it. Phil McDonald, I'll reach out to you. We'll make good.
No, there's no reason to reach out.
I won't. You're right.
You pay in advance. There's no reason to talk to him. What issue could he have? You paid him in advance for some reason.
You humiliated him. live on air.
He'll get over it. I'm sure he humiliates himself. Plenty. All the talk about not wearing pants.
On that, we probably agree. I'll be honest with you. He seems hugely inappropriate. Anyway.
Yes.
All right. So that's going to do it. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.